What is up, guys? I am back with another LEGO Transformer, and before I get into this one, I want to talk about something else real quick. This little guy. Now, this is a Transformer I made quite a few years ago. His video was taken down due to poor quality and the fact that he was remade into another LEGO Transformer named Incinerator. Now, this guy was nameless at the time, but he has since been renamed Backblast. He's kind of just a little drone that turned into this cannon thing. Not really much effort put in this, it was kind of thrown together, but I always thought he was pretty cool. You can plug this into the cannon and have it look like he's shooting something, which I thought was really neat. So the transformation was really simple, I'll show you that now. And there he is. Like I said, very simple transformation, not much to this guy. He was kind of just thrown together, and he looks kind of wacky. He's got a really weird shape to him. But he's just supposed to be a drone that just rolls around and shoots things with this giant cannon on the back, hence the name Backblast. And he does need a little stand so he can stay up. I'll just put that on real quick. So you can see, there he is. And just like before, you can put this on his back, but this time you can put a little flame on the back here. And this further supports the name Backblast. And I think this is a pretty cool look. Just this tiny little robot running around with this giant cannon on his back, shooting rockets at everyone. And like I said, he was meant to be a drone, so I imagine there would just be like a whole army of these guys. But anyway, that is not the point of this video. This guy was reformatted, rebuilt into Incinerator, who was the leader of a squadron of 3 jets I made quite a while ago. They were all Decepticons, and Incinerator was meant to be the leader. However, since he was based off of this guy, he had a lot of shortcomings. He didn't really look the part. He didn't look fit to be leader of a squadron of jets. So, I took the liberty of remaking him, and this is LEGO Transformers Incinerator version 2. So here you have Incinerator version 2 looking very nice in his improved jet mode. I'm trying to position the light to where you can see all the detail because he is in black and that doesn't show up very well on camera. He is much bigger and much better, in my opinion, than his previous version, and he is much more fit to be a leader of a squadron of jets. I did proclaim this figure as my self-mock, but looking back, he wasn't very impressive. But now that he's improved, I am much more okay with this being myself as a Transformer, which is what a self-mock means. Yeah, he looks really cool. The original had like some dark gray and black and a bit of white. The color scheme wasn't very uniform. This guy is for the most part all black. There is some gray and light gray in the middle bit here, mostly because I did not have the pieces in black, or I did, but they were not up to par with the rest of them. Like, they were old and worn out and they would not have stayed together. This cockpit was originally going to be black, but I went with the dark blue instead, and I think that was a good choice to go with that because it looks really cool. It looks like a cockpit rather than just an entirely black jet. I was also going to go with an orange, but I feel like that would have stuck out too much. This is more pleasing to the eye, I think, the dark blue cockpit. You can see his head back here. It's kind of just hanging out, but it's not nearly as obtrusive as the last version of this guy. Yeah, that was one of the main things I wanted to change. If you don't know what I'm talking about, I'll put a link to his original video in the description. You can see what version 1 of this guy looked like. And he does have a lot of gaps in here, but it's a LEGO Transformer. You can't always fill in all the gaps. Yeah, he looks really cool. I'm not sure what kind of jet he would be. If anything, I think he would be, I think it's either an F-16 or an F-18. I don't exactly remember what it's called. Something like that, where it just has the one wing back here. And it's a very thin, very fast looking jet. I really like the way it looks. This might be the best LEGO Transformer fighter jet that I've made. I'll bring in the other two for a comparison. That way we can finally have definitive versions of all the members of the jet squadron that I made so many years ago. So here you have Incinerator, Smokestream, not to be confused with Smokescreen, which is an existing Autobot character, and this is Turbine. Now, these guys have been improved a little bit as well. I changed out some of the red with some maroon on this guy, and this guy was rebuilt specifically for this video, so he's got some differences too. So here you have all of them, and Incinerator, in my opinion, looks the best out of all of these, which is how it should be, considering he's the leader. And with that all out of the way, let's get to his transformation. Now, Incinerator is a smaller figure with a more complex transformation, so it can get tedious at times. But first, what you want to do is take the wings, bring them up, and then I like to bring them around just to get them out of the way. Then we'll come back here. First of all, take his head, drop that down just a little bit. We're going to need that out of the way. You're going to want to rotate the head right here, just rotate that a little bit, like that. So then we can get one of the legs out of the way. These in here, these unpeg from the legs, they're going to be his blasters in robot mode. These blasters clip into the inside of the legs, and we'll just get those off and set them to the side. They'll be his weapons in robot mode. See if we can get this one off without it breaking. There we go. Those just unpeg and set off to the side. So now that we've got his head out of the way, we've got the blasters undone, let's just bring this leg out, and it will come down like this. We'll get it out of the way. Bring this leg up for now. You need to rotate the head the other way now, so that it's out of the way and you can bring it down. Like I said, it does get quite tedious, but it's worth it in the end. Okay, now you can bring the head up and rotate it this way. And that is how it will be in robot mode. So now, to work on the legs, we're just going to come back here, take these side wings, rotate them in like this. I know this might be hard to see, but you want to take the foot, bend it like this, and take the back wing, bend it like that, and that makes one of his feet. So we'll just do that again to the other side. I don't know how well you can see all this because, again, it is black, but you want to take this wing, rotate it in, and then bring the foot in, straighten all that out. Let's see if that's lined up. There we go. Now you have his legs pretty much done for now. Next, you want to take this, bring all of that down, come around to the front, get the wings out of the way again. These wings do get in the way for a lot of the transformation. That is the one thing I don't like, but what you want to do is take the cockpit. It's hinged down like this for vehicle mode. Just hinge it up a little bit, and then it's going to rotate on this piece around like that. And then bring his head down, rotate this around, like that. We'll bring that up, we'll fiddle with that here in a little bit. So now, these pieces come back, like that, and then you want to open them up like this, so that, I hope nothing breaks off here, you have to bring the cockpit through like that. That goes all the way through, and it kind of pegs into that, not very well, but it just kind of snaps down. And then you can close these up as much as you can. Yeah, they're gonna peg off. And there you go, now you have got the cockpit situated. I'm gonna adjust the camera real quick. There we go. Now, bring the arms around again, and this is where they will be in robot mode. And to set the arms up, they're the wings. You take this piece, rotate it up like that, and just bend the elbow slightly. That's probably my favorite part of the transformation, mostly because it's the least tedious. Bend the arm like that. There are the arms. And then you just want to take his head, bring it up just like that. And then separate the legs a little, actually bring them up like this, and then you can separate them like that. So bring them up, bend that, separate the legs. And if you saw any of that, here is Incinerator in his robot mode. I am really happy with the way Incinerator's new robot mode turned out. He looks a lot more menacing and streamlined than his version 1 counterpart. I really, really like the way he turned out. Now, the cockpit does become a little bit kipple and it sticks out kind of far. In a perfect world, there would be a way for this to fold down and maybe sit like that. But that is kind of cheating here, so I'm gonna have to leave it the way it is. And I don't think it's too bad. I'm okay with this. You don't see it from the front, and it's not too terribly bad. But yeah, really, very much improved. I like how his arms become the wings. They look really cool, and I imagine him being able to use them like blades. Like, he doesn't need weapons. He just like stabs his arm straight into his enemy and just, yeah, that's kind of scary, and I really like that. I really like how his head turned out too. He's got, well, hold on. He's got like this visor thing going on, and it looks really, really scary. Kind of like an owl kind of look, where he's got these spikes going off the side, and then he's got like a beak. He doesn't look like he would say very much, which maybe isn't the best idea for a leader, but he looks menacing. I like how that looks. I also like how on version 1, the wings ended up on his back. Now, even though they are his arms here, the cockpit splits into 3 parts, and 2 of them end up on his back, kind of looking like wings. So that is a bit of a happy coincidence that I really like. And then he has these shoulder spikes that come up from the wings. Just a result of the transformation, but they do so much for the look of him, and I really like it. He does have his blasters, which just peg into the side of his arms. Just like that. And there he has his handguns, kind of like a gunslinger. I really like the way this looks. Really very nice. It doesn't play too much in the name Incinerator, which refers to like igniting things on fire. I don't know. It's just a really cool name that someone suggested on this guy's video. Someone suggested Incinerator for this one, so I ended up naming this guy Incinerator. Mainly because this guy's video got taken down. But whatever, he looks really cool. He is kind of fragile, especially in the legs here. These don't like to cooperate all the time, but it's not too bad, and I like the look of it, so I'm keeping it. He looks kind of like a Michael Bay Transformer, but in a good way. I just like the sharp, sleek look of it. It's really very neat. And now it's time to get the other members of the Jet Squadron together for one last shot together. So here we have Smokestream with his new gun, and then good old Turbine. I'm actually going to have to pick the camera up so you can see Turbine. And these guys now look really cool together with all their own upgrades and mods. They look very nice together. Incinerator here, the leader. Smokestream, the heavy weapons expert, and Turbine here, the reconnaissance. I really like how these guys turned out. We've got the brain, the brawn, and then this guy is the tech, or the information. Like, he's kind of like a Soundwave kind of character, and he kind of has that look too, like Transformers Prime Soundwave. But I really like all these guys together. And I also like how Incinerator has weapons now. Before, he was the only one that didn't have weapons. Smokestream's weapon was kind of weird. It turned into a display stand for him. Sorry, I dropped him. I much prefer this new blaster I made for him, which is really cool. It's kind of like a shotgun thing. It's got some maroon accents and then some translucent red. You can see up here, like this is kind of like a display, like a heads-up display thing. I think this looks really cool. I'm glad Smokestream finally has a decent blaster. And then you might say Turbine doesn't have any weapons. I mean, he's got these engines here on his head. But my idea for him was that since he has one eye, and he's... In real life, he would be much bigger than all of these guys, because he is more like a passenger plane. I imagine that his one eye would just be like a giant laser beam that would just... He would just shoot that and wreak havoc on everything in his path, which I think is really cool. So yeah, there are my 3 jet transformers. If you want to see their videos too, I will put a link in the description to each one of them. And I will see you guys later.